Now let's talk about our legs, the reason we can walk, jump, and run. With our legs, there is a couple bones that we want to talk about here. Of course, they're on our lower part of our body. We have our femur, that's the largest bone in our body at the top. Then we have two bones in our lower legs. The tibia is the big one, and then the fibula is the smaller one on the side. And then in between, we have the patella or our kneecap. Our legs, there's a couple features we want to talk about. First, they are very strong and robust. Think about just how much weight goes through your legs. They're much, much stronger than chimpanzee legs because all of our weight is just going through two limbs rather than distributed through four. Also, you'll notice that our femur is angled inward. Our feet meet together at the midline of our body, so that means the top of our leg, our femur angles in to allow our knees to be at the center of our body. We can view that a little bit better here. So you can see that clearly the femur angles towards the midline or the medial part of our body. One of the easiest ways to tell if a femur comes from a biped or a human versus a chimpanzee is you just take the femur and you literally set it down on a table and you can see what angle the femur takes. A chimpanzee femur will be pretty much straight up and down. You can see it's a little bit angled here, but it's much, much straighter than our human femur, which has this clear angled inward. And you can see this here where sometimes we get a partial fossil. So that one in the middle there is that's Australopithecus afarensis. We only have a very small part of that femur, but we have just enough that we can see there is that clear angle. So I've heard this called a couple different things. It can be a bicondylar angle. We can also describe this as being a valgus knee, but the common feature is that femur angling inwards towards the midline. And you can see in these diagrams here, the human has that angle, but the great ape does not because their legs generally go straight down because they do not walk bipedally nearly as much as we do. We can also talk about our ankle. So because our knees are brought into the midline, that means our lower leg is actually pretty much straight up and down. And we have a very, very straight ankle joint. So we can look at how the lower tibia connects with our foot here or connects with our different tarsal bones. The human has a very straight ankle joint. The chimpanzee, it's curved to the or angled to the side. And this creates a different range of motion for humans and chimpanzees. Chimpanzees have a much wider range of motion in their angle than humans do, but that's because if we had too much range of motion in our ankle, it would be a lot easier to get a sprained ankle. We have a very kind of straight ankle joint. It really goes in one plane because that is the main plane we use when we're walking bipedally. So can you explain what are the important parts of anatomy in our legs and ankles?